Thank you for viewing this presentation from the Tennessee Department of Revenue on filing and paying your Tennessee business tax return. These topics will cover what is business tax registration, licensing requirements, and filing the business tax return using TNTAP. Business tax is located in the Tennessee Code Annotated Section 67, Chapter 4, Part 7, also known as the Business Tax Act. Business tax is a privilege tax imposed upon all businesses that sell tangible personal property and most businesses that render services in Tennessee. Businesses are taxable for Tennessee business tax if they engage in any vocation, occupation, business, or business activity located in Tennessee Code Section 67-4-708. Business tax is imposed on in-state businesses and out-of-state businesses as well that have nexus or presence in Tennessee. To begin the business tax process, it's important to do your business tax registration correctly. Let's analyze what this means. Businesses are required to file the tax if gross taxable receipts are $10,000 or more, or if they happen to obtain a standard business license from a city clerk or a county clerk. This is a filing requirement requiring the annual filing of the business tax return and the payment. Other businesses are not required to file a tax at all. These are businesses that have gross taxable receipts less than $10,000 and may have obtained a minimal activity business license from a local clerk or perhaps didn't obtain a business license at all. For these businesses, they are not required to file the tax on our TNTAP system. Additionally, if your business is exempt by law from business tax, you also don't need to register for business tax or have a business license. Both city and county governments, as well as the state of Tennessee, all have roles in the business tax and licensing process. For cities and counties, they are responsible for registering new businesses. They issue all licenses, including the initial license and the reissued license, and they collect license fees when they're required. For the state of Tennessee Department of Revenue, we also register new businesses. We collect the business tax. We send a file of renewal eligibility to the clerks to allow them to issue the licenses. And we also send the local portion of tax money collected to local governments. So for licenses, there are requirements that must be met. A license is required if you have over $3,000 per year in gross receipts at your location, if you are inside Tennessee. Each location needs its own license. The license is not required if you were to make less than the $3,000 or if you happen to meet one of the other criteria listed here, such as being a Classification 5 business or an out-of-state business with no locations in Tennessee. Keep in mind, out-of-state businesses with no locations most of the time do have a filing requirement with us in Tennessee when the gross income levels are met. And there are certain businesses that are exempt by law from business tax. So as we look at the license life cycle here, let's remember that all licenses are approved and issued by local county and city clerks. Renewed licenses are mailed to businesses or they're made available on the TNTAP system for businesses to print out. And businesses must contact local clerks to resolve license issues. This is because by law, local clerks are the only people that can issue licenses in the state of Tennessee. The Department of Revenue cannot issue a business license. Next, let's discuss business tax return filing tips. Use TNTAP to file and pay the business taxes. Make sure you're filing electronically and remitting your payment as required under Tennessee law. Business tax return form BUS 428 can be used to draft your return. You can make your calculations and put your figures on this form prior to having to input the information on TNTAP. This may save you some preparation time. Before you file, check to ensure that all your locations are displaying properly in TNTAP. If you see any discrepancies, please contact the Department of Revenue so adjustments can be made to allow for your successful filing. Remember also that the business tax return is consolidated. All active locations must be reported on the form in order to file. You may not leave out one or more locations. All locations must be filed. Finally, discuss any address changes with the Department of Revenue or your local city or county clerk so that your business can be properly registered for business tax and that you receive a proper business license. For more information, contact the Department of Revenue with any questions at 615-253-0600 or by email directly to revenue.support@tn.gov. Thanks for viewing this presentation from the Tennessee Department of Revenue.